Hi, everybody. It is Friday, February 24th. And yeah, if you kind of noticed, I don't really prepare a lot for these videos. I'm just kind of sort of checking in as usual. I, I do get constant messages. Like they sort of fill me in on what's kind of going on and everything. And to be honest, everything's on track. Everything seems to be working really, really fine. They're just watching us. This is like as as I've kind of explained before, we're in a kind of a spiritual classroom. That's probably the easiest way to explain it. And in order for us to learn things, we've created physical realities like this, and we think this is it. But anyway, uh, but they were kind of reminding me because I'm in a physical body too down here. That they always kind of keep reminding me how things work in this reality, and I know this is out there, but anyway, um, so I was going to go over a few because they were reminding me. So I thought, well, maybe I should tell you guys what they told me, and basically it's. I mean, we've all kind of figured out, for instance, that we have traits from our mother and father, or our ancestors. So what that is like what we call them is maybe talents or something. Like for instance, if we come from a musical family, we'll say like your mom and dad were musical, so you just took to music just really easily or whatever. So they said that was probably just passed down from your parents or whatever. It's quite true actually. What it is, and like I said, they kind of remind me of this. Is it's genetic memory, and we're kind of taught this same concept about our immune system. Is once you catch certain colds or flus, your immune system has memory of that, and they call them like T cells or whatever. But it's like a memory that it fought off that disease or something. So if it sees it again, yeah, your body will manifest, for instance, antibodies to fight it because it recognizes that cold or whatever it was from before, so it'll be able to fight it off. So in a sense, by getting these diseases throughout your life, you build up your immunity in your physical body, and we're talking just physical. There's also spiritual memories too, which I'll go on to more in the future. But I just want to explain this a little bit simpler so people can understand it. So, so yeah, so we have genetic memories. What I mean by that is the longer my body survives, or the longer I live, the more memory it builds up. So, for instance, if I was to have a child now, it would remember that those codes would be written on the DNA of that child, of my experiences. So, for instance, yeah, whether it's musical or you know art or something, so it's usually like things like that. But it can be. Well, we also know that it can be intelligence. It's like if you come from an intelligent line of a family, like your dad was a professor, at a college or something, that it's because that sort of propensity, I guess, for you to be smart is there. So it's a code written into DNA. But they also reminded me that as much as we sort of blow it off, is what we eat becomes part of us. So that classic saying of "you are what you eat" is really quite true. I mean, it's not exactly one for one. You can have macaroni and cheese from time to time, or a Twinkie or something, and it doesn't affect you completely. But I'm just saying, every cell that we have is built on whatever we put into this machine. Because you got to remember, this is a physical, biological, walking computer machine. We are a physical machine. we set it up this way so that our spirits can inhabit these biological machines and and have experiences with them. So whatever you eat is is made up of every little molecule you've got. Every little cell is got sort of like a memory of what you've eaten. So in other words, if you eat really healthy food, it's not an accident that you'll become a pretty healthy person. And if you fight off diseases, you'll become, your immune system will be strong, whatever. These are old things that we have to almost relearn because, as you know, our controllers hacked into the medical system that we have, and they've kind of thrown out the old ways. They said, no, 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 no. We've made a lot of progress since then, so now it's all about science and chemistry and stuff like that. They're kind of, well, the guys at the top are definitely lying to you about it, because in reality, going back to the nature or to the natural way of living is actually the best for these physical vehicles that we're in. They're stronger, whatever. That's whatever. And so they're kind of reminding me about for instance, you've heard people talk about, well, if you play, and they've done scientific experiments about this, that, for instance, if you had a plant, sitting in your windowsill or whatever, or, your little greenhouse, if you play beautiful music to it, it seems to grow better. For instance, they've sort of done experiments of like, heavy metal music versus symphonies or something, in isolated experiments, and plants will grow better when it's kind of a positive sound rather than a negative sound. And we also know from experiments with water that water basically inhabits and transmutes positive thoughts. Like, I've posted it before, but there's basically experiments where, they've shouted at it positive things or negative things, and then they've crystallized it or froze it, and it would create beautiful snowflakes, sort of like, or ice crystals with positive thoughts and positive vibrations versus negative. It's kind of more chaotic. Well, you got to remember that we're mostly water, so if you speak out loud positiveness, or I'm not saying you have to listen to classical music all the time, but I'm just saying if you always have that influence of a positive into our bodies, it's transmuting into every one of our cells, because we're mostly water, and it's creating a positive thing or a negative thing. And as you know, being on Prison Planet, the default here is negative, so we have to work extra hard to make it more positive. So it's not a joke. Like when I'm not saying I do this every morning, but I say sometimes, when I look in the mirror and I say, listen, you're getting healthier, you're getting stronger. I'm basically reaffirming it in a positive way, and it transmutes into me being young and healthy, because that's my intent. It's about intent, everything. So what I'm getting at here is, I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already know this, but I'm just saying that being in a positive atmosphere, whether it's music or people, like that's what I just don't hang around negative people. It'll affect you. It'll bring you down, or negative situations. So, take for instance, I don't watch scary, negative movies. I'd rather watch a feel-good movie. I'd rather eat more healthy food. I can go on about that. That's a huge topic. But, like, I'm trying to do what's best for my biological machine that I'm using here while I'm inhabiting this world, like while I'm being here. So that's not what we're here for. It's just part of the lesson. I mean, what it boils down to is these are just vehicles. So if you can take care of your vehicle, it's like your car, the longer you can use it for adventures all over the place. Like you want You don't want your car to break down and you never got out of the neighborhood. You want your car to have brand new tires. You want to go for adventures all over the place. So you take care of your body like it's a machine, like it's a car. That's kind of what I do. You know, I change the tires, make sure it's got clean oil. You know, I don't want to speed too much because I don't want to put too much, you know, shock onto my engine or something. Whatever. You know, I'm exaggerating to as an example, but I'm just saying that's kind of the idea. So there's lots of physical ways we can manifest our lives into something positive. But again, that's not what we're here for. We're here for spiritual lessons. This is one giant spiritual classroom. And it's not, okay, we got to learn religion. No, no, no. I'm talking spirituality as in like, so what's about creation and positive versus negative. That's why we're here also. It's a duality world, whatever. Anyway, I can go on forever, but I'm just saying that was kind of what they reminded me to probably tell you guys. So for a lot of you that already know this, this isn't new information, but it's definitely to reaffirm it. So yeah, so that's kind of what my topic is about today. And as you kind of noticed, we still can't speak freely. My videos are being monitored, and as we know, the controllers are still out there. But keep in mind that because we're winning this war, the good guys, let me put it that way, are letting them, it's almost like they've got the evil on a leash, and they're just letting it show its face, show its head every once in a while to wake people up going, see, this is the beast that was messing with you guys all this time. We've got it under control now, but I want you guys to learn a lesson. And again, it's because of that molecular lesson. It's like, well, the more we learn, the more we retain it into our very cells, our very DNA. And that also transmutes into our souls. So these are not only physical lessons, but they're spiritual lessons that we have memories of as well. So, like I said, this is kind of one big, long exercise of learning. So for us that are awake, yeah, we get it more. And for the other ones, they'll slowly come around. They will. But for now, yeah, just stay strong, stay positive. It's working, and because we're changing the world into a positive place by manifesting positive thoughts. You guys just don't realize how powerful we really are. Anyway, okay, that's my little update for Friday, and yeah, carry on, guys. We're winning.